any questions, please use raise your hand. Nicole will pass the mic around.
Well, Blake, first, just when did you find out you were going to be the Game 1 starter? And two, just what does it mean to you to be taking the ball, Game 1 of the wild card, and hopefully setting this team on a good path and a good tone to start this series?
Yeah, I found out a little while ago. Yeah, but no, I'm excited. There's no better feeling than being Game 1, starting it off. And the goal is to get us off to a good start, a win, and go from there.
Hi, Blake.
So I think.
Last time you faced the Reds, you threw a no-hitter. Does that play into confidence for this game? And there's a lot of the same hitters in that lineup.
No, I mean, it's just so long ago. They've changed, I've changed, a lot's changed. And this is a postseason game, so stakes are higher. So it's going to be a more exciting game. Good chess match, I got good hitters, guys that are hot. So I'm excited to see the matchup and how it all plays out.
Blake, is there anything you can point to? Last 3 starts have been really good outings for you. Is there anything specific you can point to that maybe you tweaked, you figured out, that have led to those results?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel, understanding. I'm able to know what's working, go with it. I'm not trying to force pitches when I know that, they'll win even if they're not that good. Attacking with the fastball, and I've been locating it well. So a lot of just good feel and understanding for the game has put me in good positions to have good results.
Like, how did those 4 months away from pitching, how did those impact you? And also, did it, quote unquote, help you save bullets for the postseason?
I don't know if it helped me save bullets for the postseason. Those 4 months were tough, man. It was a lot of work, a lot of back and forth, and trying to push, but trying to be smart at the same time. Those 4 months were tough. I might not have pitched, but man, it was a lot. Yeah, that was a lot. So to be where I'm at now, I'm just very thankful and appreciative of everything that I went through to get here. But I still feel like I'm getting better, and I'm still learning more and more.
Yeah, Blake, during those 4 months and even this past offseason when you were going through free agency, how much was pitching in October for this team sort of something that was front of mind, and how much is that something that's going to be meaningful for you sort of this next month?
Yeah, no, it's everything. That's why, the big reason why I came here was to pitch in October and to really challenge myself personally and see how good I am and face the best when the stakes are the highest. That's what I've always wanted, so I couldn't be more excited to be in the position.
Hey, Blake, throughout your career, most years, I think maybe every year, you've been better in the second half than in the first half. It seems you've been at your best in the stretch run of a season in the playoffs. Why do you think that is?
For me, I just think, I've been pitching and learning and correcting mistakes. And yeah, just as the season goes on, you learn swings, you just learn so much throughout the year that I feel like it's kind of hard not to get better. And yeah, that's why I think I have a better second half.
Like, building off that, do you think that even with missing the first half this year because of injury, you were able to still, kind of learn even though you weren't pitching in games?
Yeah, you gotta watch the other team, watch our team, learn swings, then you go through in your head like, what would you do if you were out there? What would you do differently? What do you like? Yeah, every time you watch a game, you're just running down like situations and putting yourself in them. So for me, that's what I was doing. Yeah, I think it helps. And then when you get out there, you feel the game out. And that's where you just kind of, this is what I would do, this is what I'm gonna do, and kind of go from there.
Like, with the way this team has built momentum towards the postseason, did you sense a shift, and what would you attribute that to?
I think everyone's just getting excited for postseason ball. I don't know if I sense the shift. I know that all of us are really excited about October and what we can accomplish and do. And now that it's here, I think the best part is we get to prove it to ourselves and see how good of a team we really are together. And that's exciting for us.
Thanks, guys. Mookie Betts, you start.
You got a question on the microphone? We'll start with yours.
Well, Mookie, obviously there's some familiarity with the Reds, having just kind of seen them relatively recently. As you guys prepare for this matchup, what do you think one poses as the biggest challenge? And what's just the feeling amongst the group as you guys get ready for this matchup?
I think once you get to postseason, everybody kind of, it's the same. It's a new season, and you got to play good baseball no matter what. These teams didn't make it here on accident. It wasn't luck. So every team is going to be really good. But that's what makes it fun, and I think we just have to play our brand of baseball and don't worry about the rest of it. It just kind of is what it is, and not really focus on what they bring, but kind of what we can control ourselves and having good at bats and throwing strikes.
Questions for Mookie?
Hey, Mookie, what's your evaluation of the pitching staff, particularly the starting this year going into the postseason as compared to last year?
We have 4 or 5 starters now, so we definitely deeper there. And guys have been pitching really well. They kind of feed off each other. The front office did an amazing job giving us this type of staff, and the boys have done an amazing job in performing. So, I'm sure they'll be excited and ready to go and continue their performance. And I think that's going to give us a really good shot.
So where do you think Ohtani fits in, especially in the short series?
I think with him being probably the best player in the world, he can fit in wherever he wants to fit in. So whenever he feels like he needs to go in and pitch, I'm pretty positive nobody with a Dodger uniform will say no.
Hey Mookie, congratulations on another division title. How do you guys feel collectively as a team going into the playoffs with a target on your back? World champions and all of that.
I think we feel good. We're not really worried about the target on our back. That doesn't have anything to do with the task at hand. I think we're all focused on what we need to do to take care of business, and we won't let anything exterior add any pressure to it.
Yeah, Mookie, after the back-to-back walk-off losses in Baltimore, you guys have won 15 out of 20. What changed?
I don't know. I don't know. You just go through your ups and your downs. That's really kind of it. And, we just got back to playing good baseball, throwing strikes and timely hitting. I think for a stretch there, that some of us weren't really producing like we needed to, and so I think it was just a collection of us starting to play a little better, pitch a little better, hit a little better, better base running, better defense. Kind of just playing better baseball, and I think that's really us. And we just have to keep doing it.
Is there such a thing as flipping the switch and playing that way?
No, there's no. I don't think that exists. I think you play the game how you know how to play the game, and it doesn't matter the situation going on around you. You don't really rise to the occasion. You kind of fall to your training, and so whenever you we train properly, we train hard every day, and so it shouldn't be much of a change when the game comes.
You mentioned pitchers feeding off each other, and I guess in the notion of timely hits, do you feel like in your lineup you guys feed off each other as well?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I definitely would say so. But in the beauty of this is anybody can start it. It doesn't just start from Shohei or Freddie or myself, it starts with Pies and, you know, Tommy Edmond and, you know, guys down there. Sometimes Ben Rortbeck, you know. So you can start anywhere, and I think that's why we're so good. And you got to play 9 full innings to beat us, and we just have to keep applying pressure like that.
Mookie, you've obviously done this before and reached the pinnacle a couple of times. This season, every playoff run usually tells a different story. Yes, there can be some similarities. For you personally, what feels different heading into this one?
It's a new year. I mean, different challenges. You know, I think I just try and stay present, and so I don't really know to answer the question. You know, just because we'll find out as we go. And like I said, this postseason will definitely pose different challenges, different things that you have to do, different teams, and so it'll be fun. And I'm ready for whatever it brings.
Hey Mookie, I know this is just like who you are now, but the fact that the games matter now more than ever, and you're going to be a shortstop in this stage, like what kind of pride do you take in that, and what does that say to you about just the progress you've made there in the last 11 months or so?
Yeah, I take a lot of pride in it. Just because starting the season, I wasn't sure if I was going to actually end the season there. I thought there may have to be adjustment at some point, just from lack of trust or whatever. I just didn't know. I didn't know, and I got to give Woody a shout out. My boy Ryan, Ryan Goins, who I would call all the time, go over situations and what he would do. Just we've been best friends for a long time, so he definitely helped me through this process. You know, it's just I'm just proud of myself for making it all the way through the year and actually achieving a goal that I kind of set out to do, and that was be a major league shortstop. You know, and I can say I did it. I can say I was good at it, and now it's just a matter of going and doing it on the big stage. You know, I'll be nervous just like everybody else. You know, it's my first time playing short in postseason when it really, really matters, and so I'm sure there'll be some butterflies in there, but that's all in the love of the game.
And just looking back, now that you've had some space from it, what do you think is the biggest reason why you got right offensively over these last few weeks, months?
I think I just was finally able to get my strength back and like sustained strength. You know, it's just hard to gain your weight and sustain strength in the middle of the season when you're traveling and doing all these things. So I think I finally got all that back and was able to fix a couple mechanics, and didn't really have to try and add on power anymore. I could just swing and let it do its thing.
Mookie, you just said, you know, when you started the season, you weren't sure if you were going to end the season in short. At what point did you kind of think, like, okay, I got this?
When I started playing short, and I didn't have to think about it. I could just go out there and just play. And now, like when I go out and play shortstop, it's like I'm going out to right field. I don't have to think about it. My training is good. I believe in myself. I believe in what I can do. And now it's just like, go have fun. You know, when the ball comes, it's have fun. And so that's when I knew I could finish the season like that. I don't know when it happened, but there was just a point. I think it was after probably 3 or 4 errors. I said probably after about 3 or 4 errors because I was making errors I had never made before. I'd never been in these situations, and so once I got in the situation and understood how to do it, I did it wrong, and understand how to do it. Just have fun after that.
Last one's maybe.
Yeah, Mookie, is there anything about that transition to shortstop that you learned about yourself in that process that allowed you to sort of help with the offensive circles over the course of the season? Just like about sort of how you handled that adversity, how you handled kind of dealing with something you'd never dealt with before?
Yeah, I think probably when that moment that I had where I could just go have fun and play short, then I could kind of flip my brain back to like hitting. It's hard to go back and forth. It's a learned behavior going back and forth between defense and offense. And when I was in right, I didn't have to do that. You know, I was just playing right. And then I didn't have to think about playing right. And so at first I was playing short and had to think about everything was short and what came with that, and then had to flip it back to offense. And then once short became where I didn't have to think about it anymore, I could really think about offense. I think it slowly but surely started to get better and better.
One last one, Mookie. Finish up right
Mookie, there was also a point in August when you guys were playing the Blue Jays where you said in front of your locker, my season's over, I just want to do whatever I can to help the team. Was in that way a kind of a relief or a turning point for you as well?
Yeah, because I think I just accepted failing, and so my thought process on failing changed, and it was, instead of looking at things as failures, I looked at it as, okay, well, I know that's not it. Now I can move to the next thing. Well, I know that's not it. I can move to the next thing. Instead of just sulking in, well, I tried this and it failed, so now I don't know where to go. Well, I just used it as positive things, and eventually turned.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Hey, Doug.
Hi, Barry.
Can you go over your pitching decisions for the tryout? Snell, do you have a game 2 and game 3?
No game 3. Yamamoto will start game 2.
What's your plans for Ohtani pitching wise right now?
He'll if there is a game 3, he'll probably start game 3.
And then how about Clayton? What's your plans with him?
He threw yesterday a full ramp up, so he's not going to be on this roster.
But he'll be back perhaps if you're in the DS?
If we're fortunate enough, he'll be on the DS roster, yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep.
Questions for Doug?
Hey Dave, how was there much consideration of maybe doing Ohtani game 1? How much of that kind of was just on trying to manage his workload and allow him to kind of focus on hitting these first 2 games?
I think that the workload, it's the proper rest for Snell, Yamamoto, and obviously we don't know what's going to happen with the game 3, but then also there's an off day after that, so just kind of thinking through everything.
Questions for Doug? Doug?
Dave's any update on Will Smith?
Will is in the cage, taking batting practice, came out of it well. He's going to take part in the live session outside tonight during our workout, so encouraged.
And is there any consideration maybe keeping him on the roster even if he's not catching as a potential like a pinch option?
If he can get through today and feel good, then it's a viable thought. Yeah.
Dave, with Ohtani, obviously, if you guys can wrap this thing up kind of on the earlier, right? If you can finish the series in 2 games, has implications for the next series. How much did that factor into, placing Ohtani where you did?
Yeah, that played a role as well. Yeah, absolutely dope.
Bill, can you pass it
Hi Dave. Looking back to last year's postseason run, compared to this one, what's the biggest collective difference you see with this team?
The starting pitching is considerably better. Is in a much better health state as well. That's probably the biggest difference between last year's team.
Hi, as you prepare for the Reds or in their style of play, are there trademarks of a Terry Francona team that you see in the Reds this year?
You know what, I think that Tito just kind of lets his guys do their thing. I think that they're a resilient group. They play 27 outs. They play with energy. I think it's a very well-balanced team. Obviously, the starters are very notable, but they put the ball in play. They compete. They play solid defense. He's got some guys that he trusts in the pen, but I think for the most part, Tito just kind of lets guys play and play with energy.
Hi Dave, I saw you gave him some at-bat last series at the Seattle. Did you see some improvement?
I did. He looked really good. I thought his at-bats were really good. It was good to get him some consistent at-bats. And like I've always said, I think Haesung's, he's been fantastic for us this year. And, going into tomorrow evening, we've got some tough roster decisions that we're continuing to talk through right now. But he's had a heck of a year.
Hey Dave, how are you? With the whole World Series hangover, how important is setting the tone in Game 1?
Yeah, I don't think the hangover part I don't think that's relevant anymore. I think that we are locked in and focused on this series, but I do think that being at home, not having to travel. It's important for us to strike early and really not let these guys kind of hang around and gain confidence. And like I've talked about edge and just keeping our edge and not kind of giving these guys any opportunity of life.
Dave, when you look at Sasaki, how good he looked, how do you weigh that against, maybe it wasn't like the most pressurized of situations, the fact that it was only twice, how do you kind of weigh all that, and do you know yet if he's going to be on the roster?
I expect him to be on the roster. I expect it. We haven't finalized anything yet. I still think that the way he threw, the big games that he's pitched in before, I think that that's something that I can trust, certainly. I don't know what role that would be, but I think that what I've seen in the last couple outings, and even the ones in AAA, are considerably different than the ones he had earlier this year.
Hi Dave, how much confidence do you have in the new version of the bullpen?
Much more confidence, than we had a couple weeks ago. And I think that it's because those guys have shown the confidence in themselves where they're throwing the baseball. I think the last week you saw guys more on the attack, setting the tone versus, pitching behind or pitching too careful. So, I think that that Seattle series was really impressive from our pen.
Hey Dave, you mentioned that you're more confident about the pitching going into this postseason. You've only had one guy throw above 170 innings. I know a lot of that is due to injury, but how much does it help to have fresh arms that haven't gone through the wear and tear of the season?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's. I think that's a good thing. I don't think it's everything. But yeah, Yoshinobu's the only guy that's kind of gone north of that. But I think that he's thrown his best, in the second half of the season. But the other guys, there's a lot left, bullets left in the season. So I do think that, where the postseason gets more intensified, having those extra bullets, could be a benefit. And our guys certainly aren't taxed as far as innings this year.
What are the inherent dangers, if any, of facing a 6 seed that just clinched and kind of has the momentum just because they just clinched it yesterday and they're going right into the playoffs? Kind of as is?
Well, I think the dangers are the youthful enthusiasm, the naivete. There's not a lot of experience, and I think that sometimes it happens so quick that they're just riding a wave. And I think a way to combat that is we have to not take them lightly because it's a really good ball club and they played their way into the postseason. Also, when you're playing against a team that essentially feels like they have nothing to lose, that kind of mindset. But we're aware of it. We're focused on playing well and, know that these guys are a good ball club and we got to play good baseball. So, but those, just to answer your question.
How are Max and Tommy doing? Are you expecting them to have any limitations this week?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're both in a good spot right now. I'm glad we gave Max the weekend. Tommy would now have had 2 days for that ankle, so I expect them both to be in the lineup tomorrow.
And then, how does like a postseason like this compare when you come in after the success of last year versus the last couple of Octobers when you have like the pressure of having not, won the year before? Like, does it create a different vibe as you guys start this run?
Well, one thing that's different is, we get 1 day off and then we're playing after the regular season. I don't know about the pressure. Like, it's hard to answer the pressure thing. I want to win this year as much as I wanted to last year. I don't know if it's because, why that is, but and I think that the players feel the same way. I don't know if it's easier or harder that we won last year, but honestly, Jack, all we care about is winning this year and, winning this year.
Mookie was just in here and was pretty transparent about his return to full health, embracing playing shortstop, and kind of the mental challenges he overcame. I guess for you, knowing the athlete he is and what he's capable of, when did you see him make the turn and really enjoy playing the game and the offense coming to him again?
I think the offense, when he kind of said that the year was lost and, when he kind of made that admission, that's when I think it sort of flipped for him, just freeing his mind up. But then there was a play, I don't recall where it was at, but a play going to his backhand that he made this play, pretty spectacular play where for me, it was just being an athlete playing shortstop and not just kind of the mechanical part of it. Like, he just looked like a natural shortstop right there. And I don't remember the backhand play, but then, he has been, as good as I could have ever expected playing that position.
Yeah, Dave, over the weekend you kind of said with Tanner specifically that he didn't have the season that he kind of envisioned, but he can kind of wipe it away with a good October. How much is that kind of true for a lot of the guys who maybe didn't have the seasons that they were kind of hoping going into this year?
I could spit out 6 or 7 names pretty easily. And that's the great thing about the postseasons. Moments and opportunities present themselves and how you perform. People remember those moments, and so we've got guys like that in our clubhouse right now. That's kind of the hope and the messaging from me that nothing that these guys have done prior matters. It's kind of the next 4 weeks and how we're prepared mentally, physically, and to go out there and play our best baseball. Individually, collectively. So Tanner's certainly in that bucket.
There's so many players who experienced the postseason last year. How much does it help you to navigate the team in the tough October?
I think it's easier with the experience, and I say that because in the postseason, the game gets fast, the emotions get high, adrenaline gets going, crowd gets crazy, and so with the experience, you have the ability to kind of slow it down a little bit. And control your emotions. So for me, having a lot of guys that have experience makes my job easier, and just sort of watching the game and trying to navigate that. But as far as the players, I think having experience is really beneficial.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks.